How are we going, everyone? So, I'm not sure how this video is going to start off, but I think I might as well start it. The past couple of days I've been driving the Turbo Civic around. It's been about on the road now for just over 3 weeks, and I've started having lots of smoke come out of the exhaust. And we've been tossing ideas around over the past couple of days about turbo seals, crank ventilation, etc. And we're starting with crank ventilation because there's not a lot venting, so a lot of positive crank pressure in the head and the bottom end, which could be causing oil to bypass into the turbo, therefore. So the reason we went towards that over turbo seals is it smokes more on boost than not, which makes sense, but it's leaking more excessive oil and all that. Now, quick update on that is I've vented, there's a black box on the back for the PCV valve of the motor. We've just vented that straight out now to try and get rid of some of the crankcase pressure. It is working, along with the catch can we've got in the engine bay, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. It will be getting test driven today, but while I was at it I checked the spark plugs to see if there's oil on them, and there is. So we could be looking at possible ring land failure, or even worse, or hopefully not worse. But I've just grabbed up the camera because this could be a video out of this one, so if you've seen it, it is, and we've got a problem. If this motor's blown already, I'll be building a VTEC motor I've got over there. It's got bottom end knock, so it'll be getting a forged bottom end, and that'll go in. Not good timing, as I've already still got the Subi on jack stands. Sylvia is not even getting touched, and I've got a downshift event which this is meant to be painted and promo car at within the next month and a half. But if that's the case, that's the case. So we're going to do a bit more inspection, and I thought I'd bring the camera along for the journey now. So while I take the spark plug out, I thought I'd talk about a couple of things that have been happening. So one, wastegate block gone. The gasket's just blown. I've got some gaskets coming for that. And I noticed a bunch of oil leaks coming out of the Dizzy. So this is the spark plug. Now I don't know if you're going to be able to see it out here on camera, but it stinks like fuel, and you can see it's shiny, so that definitely looks like a lot of oil. So we're going to pop that to the side, and I've got an inspection camera here, which I'm going to kind of set up, and we're going to see what's going on in there. Hopefully that's focusing enough, but if I can get it back in there, that's looking pretty bloody oily. It's looking very oily, and it also looks like there's gouges on the side of the bores, if that's what I'm looking at properly. So that's not ideal. I'll check the other ones and see what's going on, but this could be a case of stuffed piston rings in this one. It was always going to be something that was on the cards, and I should have expected it to be coming, to be honest. But hardest thing is the motor's from a 99 model. I don't know anything about the motor. We only found that out when doing the wiring loom. It's a 97 model, so I don't know nothing about this motor. I guess now I'm going to check the rest of them, see what's going on, see if it's consistent, because I've never actually used an inspection camera down in bore, so that might, I don't know what I'm looking for. So, but it doesn't look the best. We'll go into a compression test as well and see what's going on, because the car's been still responsive and everything. It's just pretty smoky, so I didn't think compression would be a problem, but it might be. It might be. So that's pretty much, these are the valves, there's the top of the piston, and they're pretty much all looking like that. It's looking very wet in there. I don't know if that's meant to be normal. I'm currently on the phone to try and figure that out, to be honest, but they all kind of look like that. Cylinder 1 did have a bit more scoring on the sides of the bores, but they're all not too bad. That's 4. As you can see, 3 looks pretty bloody wet, to be honest. 3, 2, and 1. You can see the bore in number 1 looking rough. So obviously that's not ideal. I don't think that's meant to be there anyway. I'm doing a bit more further inspection to see if that's the plan. If that's meant to be there, I don't think it is. I don't think it's meant to be that wet. I understand there could be unburnt fuel on the piston, so it's a bit hard to tell from here, and I can't really shove my hand down there to get to it. So I'm currently going to just assume the worst, I am going to take it for a drive this evening and see if that smoke issue's gone now that I've released a lot more of the crank ventilation. We hopefully shouldn't have as much pressure in the motor. So, but from what I'm looking at and my general knowledge of motors, that doesn't look ideal. So yeah, but it could be. Like I said, I don't know anything about that motor. It could have 400,000 Ks on it for all we know. Shouldn't, but we're unsure. So let's assume worst case, we're looking at a built motor. I've got a D16Y1, which is a VTEC motor. Would kind of suck. I'd have to change some plugs around again and rewire some things and retune it, but the gist would be the same. I'd probably do a forged bottom end, so I'd do pistons, rods, rings, bearings, head studs. That's it. Other than that, we'll leave it stock. It'll make way more power than what it's making now, but it'd be happy with what it is. And it shouldn't blow. I don't know what would have, if it is gone or it's on its way out, I don't know what's caused it. Yeah, I could say tune, but I've been pretty conservative with it. I haven't pushed it too far. We didn't go over the boost parameters that we set, unless I just got the combustion temperature too hot, but it's only happened in the past couple of days, and maybe it leaned out when I wasn't paying attention or something, or it was just pre-det the whole time and it's finally gone. So we'll find out. I'll look a bit more into it. I'll probably end up doing a compression test. Take it for a drive too. If it isn't pissing the smoke out like it was, then it's probably not that. That's just coincidence that it looks like that, and it's probably just unburnt fuel. Because I was like standstill revving a bunch before when I took it out there, because I was trying to see if it was pissing smoke out. But so it probably could just be unburnt fuel, to be completely honest. So next update will be what we're up to, where it's at, what it's doing. And if I try and tinker with any more, I'll keep filming, and this is probably going to end up a video by the end of it, by the looks of it. But this is the other motor I've got. There's the Sylvia motors there. So it's just a D16Y1. So VTEC, like everything, you can see the VTEC solenoid there. So it'll be getting a big cleanup. But this was a turbo motor and it blew a bottom end, spun a bearing from what I know. So it'll be stripped down anyway for a build. And then I'll be mismatching parts off both motors. And I guess this one will go in. I'll have to learn how to tune VTEC. It'll be pretty cool though. It should be a pretty good motor, so it should go real good. I've always liked the idea of a turbo VTEC, so maybe it's just meant to be, you know. Anyway, you'll see me in the next update. Alrighty, this was a video I was hoping I wouldn't have to make, but it was one I was expecting to make. So this is going to be the last half of a video that you've already seen the first half of. The CIVIC is dead. So in this video you've been watching, which was probably a week and a half ago now for me, you would have seen that the CIVIC's been running a bit rough. 3 days after I filmed the first half of this video, she died. The CIVIC, pretty much, I was just cruising along. I'd got rid of most of the smoke issues that I was speaking about when I ventilated a lot of the crankcase pressures, so there wasn't as much blow by. But anyway, cruising along, and I've rolled on boost in third and I hit a wall. Smoke pissed out of the engine bay, out of the exhaust, out of everything, and I've pulled over and it's got rod knock and not happy with life. Pissed oil everywhere in the engine bay, all over the bonnet, all over just everything, to be honest. There's oil fucking everywhere. And yeah, that was kind of the end. And it does turn on. I'm not going to turn it on. It runs on 3 cylinders fucking pisses smoke out of the engine bay. It's quite unhappy, unfortunately. So yeah, the reason it's happened, I'm not 100% sure of. I got it home on a trailer that night at about 3 AM. I managed to get home, and this is where it's laid. Yeah, when it comes to what happened, I'm not 100% sure, but I do have a rough idea. From what I can think has happened, judging by that, what we saw in that cylinder wall as well, I think we've cracked ringland in number 1. So, and the reason for that is due to tune. And because of that, I've actually been pushing smoke through the exhaust the whole entire time, and this whole car's been on a budget tune based off AFRs, right? So extra oil in the exhaust from extra crankcase pressure has caused me to keep leaning the tune out, because in the previous videos you would have seen me talk about how it's always running rich, and I just couldn't get it to run leaner across the board, so I just kept leaning it out, and it was still running a really rich AFR, when deep down I'm pretty sure I was running a very lean AFR. It just wasn't showing it in the exhaust, but in the combustion event it was quite lean. So I think we've got it really hot, fried the ringland, and as I've rolled boost, it's cracked, punched all the oil into the cylinder, which has then in turn spun a bearing. I'm not 100% sure, I will not know until I pull the motor down and find out, but I'm going to say that's kind of what we're looking at. It could be something completely different, but from my knowledge of like motors and that, I think this is kind of what we're looking at. Something that could have been prevented earlier, but when I started noticing the smoke and it wasn't fuel, it was oil, it was already too late. It's a shame, but it is what it is. So this is a bit of a different pace video compared to the other ones of me working on cars. This is more of a sit down and talk. But what's now to happen with this car? Now that it's finally cacked it, I will be building a motor like I spoke about earlier in the video. I have a mate who already has a built Y1 bottom end, which is a VTEC motor, ready to go. So I will be stripping down my motor, sending my head off to get machined, and we'll be reassembling. So it'll be a built D16 Y1 VTEC. I'm not really doing budget anymore. I'm trying to pick up a decent priced, cheap Haltech or something, ECU, so I can do a proper live data tuning, none of this like budget stuff. I want to make sure this is going to be right, and I want it to last. Proper breather system, everything, because it'll all be on an engine stand. I don't have to dick around trying to get into the engine bay. It'll be a proper big AN fittings, breather system. It'll look nice, it'll be legit. It'll still be on the cheaper side of a build, no cam or anything like that, but it'll be, you know, a lot more proper and legit. Like, we're going to have live data tuning, we're going to have proper breather systems, proper catch cans, you know, bigger clutch, flywheel. So yeah, when this is going to happen, I don't know. I'm going to try and push hard. We do have a downshift event in April. I'd love this car to be a promo car there, but I don't know what the chances are going to be of it being there on time. I also want it to be painted before it comes back, so, which I'm not stressed about getting done, but yeah, unfortunately this is kind of where she lays it now. I got 3 weeks of fun out of it before it went kaboom, and to be honest, I've learnt a lot. I've learnt a hell of a lot about motors, I've learnt a lot about tuning, I've learnt so much stuff, and it is unfortunate my baby's gone already, but I am glad that, you know, I've got to learn so much out of it, and I can come back better, stronger, you know, than everything. It's going to look awesome, it's going to be awesome. I will be filming me building the motor, and I'm probably going to film a teardown of this motor to see what actually happened. But this video is probably not going to be a very long one. It's not going to be what it's meant to be normally. Like, we're not working on cars or anything, and it's definitely going to be fast tracked. I've already done this, you know, you haven't even seen these videos yet, but the Subi paint restoration's done. I've already bought another car that I daily drive at the moment, which will be in another video. So I've got a couple videos backed up, but I need to get this one out sooner rather than later. So this is her, this is where she lays. So I thank you all for watching and being a part of it, and hopefully she'll come back real soon. We'll get it stuck into it, we'll get knuckled down, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm very, very keen. So I thank you all for watching along with the journey, and I hope you've learned just as much as I have, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.